on YouTube Shorts now in vertical mode, which is awesome. So I'm gonna try it because I'm always live streaming on TikTok, and I just feel like maybe YouTube is a slightly better platform for things long term. Um, it's just a little bit more robust. It's been tried and tested for many years, and it's also where I spend most of my time as like an audience member, as a viewer. I spend way more time on YouTube per day than I do on TikTok, and I get tons more value out of YouTube than I do on TikTok. And I think part of that is the people that I follow and the people that I'm subscribed to on YouTube is very different to the people that I'm subscribed to that I follow on TikTok. But then the other part is that I actually think that it has a much better algorithm for showing you what you want to see and like more of what you like rather than being like too opinionated. I feel like TikTok's algorithm has turned into quite an opinionated thing, and for me, I find it less engaging than I did a few years ago, less entertaining and less valuable. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Yeah. So first ever live stream on YouTube in vertical mode. I've done like a couple in like just 16:9 format for a few years on YouTube, but they've never been that great. Didn't plan this out. I just wanted to hit the button and see what happens. So what features have we got here? We've got a wand, so I can add a filter. Cool. What's this plus? I can start a poll. Okay, let's do a poll. That's awesome. I love being able to do a poll midstream. I think I can do this on TikTok as well, but I'm not too sure. Let's do, is this the first Shorts live you've found? Okay, so apparently, welcome. You are the first person, Jason, to ever comment on a YouTube live that I've done. This is my first one. And yeah, I'm always live streaming on TikTok, and so this is quite nice to have this going. Can we see Jarvis? Not tonight. I actually have just open sourced a clap detection model, and I posted it. I think I posted it on YouTube earlier. A link to the clap detection model. So hopefully you guys can go find that. It's open source. I open sourced my version. There's actually a ton of improvement that needs to happen in the model. And I'm kind of hoping that open sourcing it just allows people to submit PRs and allows people to, oh, we've got some results. Okay, so some people, this is the first live. Most people, this is the first live that they've come across. Oh, we've got some votes coming in. Nice. I'll let that cook for a little bit. But yeah, so I open source this clap detection model. It's able to basically detect when I go, and which is useful. It's useful for a bunch of things. I built it because I wanted to start moving towards that first scene in Iron Man 2 where you see Jarvis for the first time in that movie. Tony Stark claps his hands, says "Daddy's home," and the whole Jarvis system comes to life. And I thought, you know what? It's not just voice we should be focused on, it's also gestures and other sounds, and claps are a great place to start. But actually the project itself, I open sourced the code, I open sourced a version of the dataset, although I would highly recommend, if you're going to go down that route, just make your own. There's already a script in the code that will help you record stuff. So I opened that, opened up a version of the code, and also a version of the model, which is my one that I trained. So you can actually just use it straight out the box if you want to just run it. The model is now open source. That's actually new. So I released the model yesterday, and it's actually a little bit better than the one on the live stream. I found it's a little bit more robust, but depending on what your microphone is or your home is like, it might be that the model needs some improvement or some fine tuning that you can absolutely do if you know your way around PyTorch, which is kind of cool. So yeah, this is the first time I have done a live stream. Let's have a look and see if that post went out. I just do not trust the the YouTube app sometimes. Oh yeah, so my live stream is actually working. That's great. Cool. I think this is a pretty new feature. This seems to be, most of you guys this seems to be the first ever live stream in vertical that you've seen on YouTube, on Shorts. So Shorts live streams That's super interesting. I'm curious what YouTube are like trying to do with this tech. I think it's certainly an exciting and interesting way of tackling the sort of TikTok approach to this TikTok approach to live streaming is like super informal like this. And the YouTube approach to live streaming right now, the most popular version is like super polished. You have like podcasts that go live, or like the WAN show and stuff like that. Those are the live streams that I watch. And so it's kind of interesting that they're now embracing informal live streams. I'm guessing this is going to end up becoming like a playable long form short. I don't know what happens when I stop the live stream. We'll find out. But it's kind of cool. So if I go to, I'm just on like desktop YouTube. So this live stream is pinned to the top of my channel. And what happens if I click on it on desktop? Okay, so yeah, it's just like a YouTube video it's just like watching any normal live, except it's in 16:9, which is kind of interesting. It's quite cool. Interesting. So I think that the problem with live streaming on this platform in like an informal, unpolished setting with bad lighting and bad mics is it's just not what the YouTube audience is expecting when they come onto the platform. They're expecting to see something super polished. They're not expecting to see someone like cooking their dinner or having a coffee, just having a chat. So that's quite interesting. I don't know whether people will embrace it or whether this is just like something that Google's going to scrap at some point. Yeah, okay, how many votes? We got a few more votes. Still, majority of people, this is the first live you've seen on Shorts. I'm curious, did you discover this on Shorts? Or did you discover this through like a notification? The reason that was it like a recommended video in like the homepage? I'm curious how people find the live. That would be certainly interesting. You've made your own Jarvis. That's awesome. Yeah, I think what's the most interesting thing that I've seen people doing lately is like the vision stuff. So you have like a large language model that is able to talk really well. This is not really hard to get running on your machine anymore. You can have like a really good coherent conversation with AI, which is something that you couldn't do a few years ago. Like when we started Carter Labs, the mission of the company was to have coherent dialogue as a API. And now the mission of the company is like decade-long AI relationships. And so that's a very, very different mission. And so it's quite easy to get a talking system like a Jarvis that you can build yourself on top of some open source LLMs. The new thing is LLMs that can see. So the best example of this is Lava. Lava is an open source large language model. There's a few different versions of it now. 1.6 just came out, and Lava basically allows the AI to see. It can see stuff. You can give it an image, and it can kind of understand what's in the image. It's early days, but it's very good. That's where the most exciting things, in my opinion, are happening. It's not in like prompt engineering. It's not in questioning whether the AI is sentient. It's not even in AI agents. I think that's kind of like a somewhat flawed concept. But I do think that computers being able to see and then reason from what they can see is extremely interesting to me. And this is a piece of tech that seems to be getting much, much better. I think it will improve. I think that it's the year that AI really starts to be able to see the world. I'm going to do some stuff on live streams and things around vision models that can see. I'm just working on, at the moment, a port of Lava 1.6 to MLX. MLX is the Mac kind of version of PyTorch. I mainly work off of a MacBook, and so it makes sense for it to work on like the bare bones neural engine that's in the MacBook. But yeah, to be honest, the current version works quite well. It's just a little bit slow. I'm running the like 7B version of Lava 1.6, so it can see, I can have a conversation about images and things. The next thing would be like to give it access to my camera, which would be awesome. Cool. Code Academy is actually a sick place on the internet to learn to code, and it continues to be. They've got a great app. Their app is just like Duolingo, but it's for code, which I love. I really love the Code Academy app. Is it yeah, the Code Academy app is great. Jarvis InVision Pro. I do have a Quest 3 on its way, and I am interested to get started with that. And that's partly why I think that vision for a large language model is really exciting. We're starting to see two things emerge at the same time. We're starting to see hardware that is able to see what you're able to see, which is interesting information to process with AI or without AI. It's just interesting that computers are going to start seeing what you can see in real time. And then the other thing is that we're starting to get language models in the same year that can understand images really, really well, understand what they see really, really well. So this is interesting. We're getting hardware that we wear on our face, and we're getting software that lends itself extremely well to that. And it might be that these headsets are like over the top for what we want to use them for. I think I'm really interested in the Ray-Bans from Meta at the moment. They're like a pair of glasses that you can wear on your face with a tiny camera in the side. I don't own a pair. And then it just kind of streams what it sees to your phone. Your phone does all the processing, and Meta is putting their assistant in the glasses, which is awesome. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's cool? Would you wear a pair of AI glasses? I'd be curious. Yeah, so this is mainly people's first shorts live. That's super exciting. Okay, did I post that thing earlier? Yes, I did. Cool. Yeah, if you're interested in the open source clap model, it is linked. It's a post on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm curious what this looks like on a phone, though, this live stream. Do you guys, like, can you see a subscribe button? Can you see, like, a live, maybe like a follow button or like a like button? You must be able to see a comment section. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't come across any live streams. And so I'd love to know what this looks like for you. Can you see a subscribe button? Can you see a like button? Can you see a comment button? Is it like basically just a TikTok clone? Or yeah, I'd love to know. All depends on who gets the data. Big tech gets to know too much about me anyway. Yeah, perhaps. Or I would make the counter argument that because they know so much about you, they are the most likely to make a useful tool. Weirdly, like, people really value their privacy, but when it comes to their actual behavior, they're very happy to give away their privacy. Like, you're on YouTube right now. YouTube is like learning so much about you by watching this live stream. It's interesting. It's like a mix between standard YouTube and TikTok. Okay, so you have my channel in an RSS feed. That's sick. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So you have a RSS feed, and then what did it show up? You had your channel in an RSS. Came to your YouTube main page. Are you on a mobile device on my main page, or are you on desktop? It's like a mix between standard YouTube and TikTok. That's interesting. I think you probably mean like standard YouTube Shorts, which is cool. So it's basically the TikTok Shorts UI. That's very interesting. Do we think that YouTube is going to introduce gifts? I don't think there are gifts. Oh, I can mute my microphone. I don't think I can do that on TikTok. What happens if I press this? Hey, Tors. Good to see you. Okay, you pulled it up on your desktop. But on the desktop view, it looks pretty shit, to be honest, doesn't it? It looks like a weird, like, portrait video crammed into the standard YouTube UI. It's very uncomfortable. It would be very uncomfortable on like a small display as well, on like a laptop or something. Wow, so people are watching this on their desktop. This seems suboptimal, because if most people are watching on desktop and that's their go-to to watch live streams, maybe as you work or as you play a game or something, then the TikTok 9:16 format doesn't really work. I don't know. I'm not sure whether I'd find myself on YouTube app watching a live stream in 9:16, but maybe. I mean, maybe some people are. Some people probably are in this live stream. It's the first one. I want to learn a ton about how you guys are. So we have 13 votes now on this. So this is a feature that they've only just rolled out, apparently. Oh, it froze. Weird. My poll has frozen. But I can still see you guys commenting. It's out of the way while you do other things. Yeah, on the desktop. See, that's quite nice. I quite like watching live streams, watching podcasts and things live on desktop YouTube. You're also 100% not watching this while driving. That sounds unsafe. On Android, it's expensive to full screen. Ah, okay. So when you open up the chat, it becomes the standard desktop YouTube. Interesting. Okay. Wow. This is an interesting experiment. What other features have they got? So I can hit a plus and do a poll, but my poll has frozen now. Does the polls show on YouTube? On like desktop YouTube? Yes, it does. That's cool. So 80% of you, this is the first Shorts live you found so far. That's interesting in itself. It's clearly a brand new feature. They don't know how hard to push it. I mean, that's only 15 votes, but like 80-20 is quite a revealing balance. Weirdly, I cannot end the poll, and I cannot click the poll in the UI anymore. It's just completely frozen. So it's pretty light on features. There's a filter. There's a bunch of just like, I can make it super like 2012 Instagram edgy. I can see live chat with all the messages in the traditional like TikTok style, which is what I've got on now. I can hide all of your comments, and I can have just the top messages, which tries to filter out spam, but you guys wouldn't spam me. I can turn the camera around. I can save a highlight in real time. That's kind of useful. I don't know how that works though. Just the last 5 minutes. Cool. So I just made an unlisted. So that there's a button in here I can click, and that will give me the last 5 minutes of my live stream as an unlisted video, which I guess I could download. I can mute the microphone and I can share it. I can share the video. So it's pretty light on features. Put Jarvis with an animation on a monitor. Yeah, actually really was thinking about doing a live where I just remake the Jarvis UI in React on the live with some cool animations and some cool, like, I don't know, background gradients and like some widgets and stuff. Just code it all up on a live and maybe open source it. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I've got all the old code, but it would be nice to start from a scratch, maybe just do the UI thing. And then what would be nice is if it worked like my old system. So the Jarvis Mark V system that I did on TikTok was like, it would listen for Jarvis in the cloud. So the UI was not Jarvis. It was just like a client of Jarvis. And so it would listen for like messages from the main Jarvis, and the main Jarvis in the cloud would like determine what information to send through and what widgets need to be shown for that information to be like best displayed. And then the front end just had to deal with like a JSON structure that would come through a WebSocket, and it would just show like the widget, if it was a number, if it was an alert, if it was an urgent piece of information, was it an image, a video, and then I had all these different widgets with cool animations and stuff. And that way, like, I could borrow from the ML side of Python, and then for the back end, and then on the front end, I could just like benefit from CSS and JavaScript and like all of the amazing tools for UI building that come with the web, which is nice. Every great new service starts with minimal features. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I remember when I first started on TikTok, it was way more stripped back than it is now. Although having said that, the more features that get added, the more confusing it is for either new creators or existing creators that are like trying to do more, and it's quite hard to know where to divert your attention. There was a split second where like TikTok Shop for me seemed like the right move. Now I disagree. It's just like so off brand for me and my account. But TikTok Shop was like a whole thing that was like very popular a couple of years ago. Xcode has decent animation for UI elements in your experience. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really use Xcode as like